A Journey Through Time, The History of Britain from the Celts to the Romans. The history of Britain is a captivating narrative of ancient civilizations, invasions, and cultural amalgamation. Spanning several centuries, this period witnessed the rise and fall of various societies, each leaving a profound impact on the development of the British Isles. From the early Celtic tribes to the conquest by the Roman Empire, the story of Britain's transformation is both fascinating and complex. In this document, we will embark on a comprehensive journey through time, exploring the rich tapestry of Britain's history, from the ancient Celtic societies to the Roman conquest that forever shaped its destiny. The earliest known inhabitants of Britain were the Celts, a group of Indo-European peoples who migrated to the island around 800 BCE. These ancient tribes, collectively known as the Britons, brought with them their distinct languages, customs, and religious practices, forming the foundation of Celtic culture in Britain. During the Iron Age, which began around 800 BCE, the Celtic tribes flourished, establishing complex societies with distinct social structures. The Britons lived in hill forts, fortified settlements built on hilltops, which served as centers of power, trade, and defense. These hill forts, such as Maiden Castle in Dorset and Danebury in Hampshire, were remarkable examples of Celtic craftsmanship and engineering. The Britons were skilled farmers, practicing advanced agricultural techniques and cultivating crops such as wheat, barley, and oats. They also reared livestock, primarily cattle, sheep, and pigs. The Celtic society was organized into various tribes, each led by a chieftain or king. The Druids, a priestly class, held significant influence in Celtic society, serving as religious leaders, judges, and custodians of knowledge. Celtic religion was polytheistic, with a pantheon of gods and goddesses associated with natural elements and celestial bodies. Rituals, sacrifices, and divination were integral parts of their religious practices. The Celts also had a rich tradition of oral storytelling and poetry, which preserved their myths, legends, and history. In 43 CE, the Roman Empire, under Emperor Claudius, launched a military campaign to conquer Britain. The Roman legions, with their disciplined armies and superior military tactics, encountered fierce resistance from the native Britons. However, after decades of conflict, the Romans succeeded in establishing control over the southeastern part of Britain. Under Roman rule, known as Roman Britain, the island underwent significant transformation. The Romans introduced a structured administrative system, establishing cities, towns, and villas throughout the conquered territories. Londinium, modern-day London, emerged as a major urban center and a vital hub of trade and commerce. The Romans built an extensive network of roads, including the famous Fosse Way, Ermine Street, and Watling Street, connecting various parts of Britain. These roads facilitated trade, communication, and the movement of troops, contributing to the Romanization of Britain. Roman influence was not limited to urban development and infrastructure. The Romans introduced their architectural style, evident in the construction of public buildings, baths, and temples. Examples of Roman architecture in Britain include the baths in Bath and the ruins of the Verulamium in present-day St. Albans. The spread of Roman culture in Britain led to the adoption of Latin as the language of administration and trade. The Romans also introduced a system of governance and law, establishing courts and implementing Roman legal principles. The arrival of Christianity, brought by St. Augustine in 597 CE, marked a significant turning point in religious practices, gradually replacing the indigenous Celtic beliefs. One of the most iconic legacies of Roman Britain is the construction of Hadrian's Wall. Built between 122 and 128 CE, this monumental fortification stretched across the northern frontier of Roman Britain, spanning approximately 80 miles from the River Tyne to the Solway Firth. The wall served as a defensive barrier, protecting the Roman territories from the unconquered lands to the north. It also acted as a symbol of Roman might and authority. Despite the Roman presence, the Britons faced constant threats from neighboring peoples. The Picts, tribes from modern-day Scotland, posed a persistent challenge to Roman control. The Roman military conducted frequent campaigns to defend the northern frontier, often engaging in skirmishes and battles with the Pictish warriors. The decline of the Roman Empire in the 4th and 5th centuries had a profound impact on Britain. As the empire faced internal turmoil and external invasions, it became increasingly difficult to maintain control over distant provinces. In 410 CE, the Roman legions were withdrawn from Britain, leaving the native Britons vulnerable to incursions from Germanic tribes. The vacuum left by the Romans' departure gave rise to a period of instability and conflict in Britain. The Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, collectively known as the Anglo-Saxons, gradually migrated from present-day Germany and Denmark to Britain, establishing their own kingdoms. The indigenous Britons, pushed to the fringes of the island, fought to maintain their independence and identity. This era of Anglo-Saxon domination marked a significant transition in the history of Britain. The Germanic tribes brought their own language, Old English, which would eventually evolve into Middle English and then Modern English. They also introduced their own political structures and societal norms, shaping the future governance and culture of the British Isles. The history of Britain from the Celts to the Romans is a captivating saga of cultural encounters, conquests, and transformations. The Celts, with their rich traditions and hill forts, laid the foundation of ancient British society. The Roman conquest brought urbanization, infrastructure development, and the spread of Christianity. However, the Roman withdrawal left the Britons vulnerable to Anglo-Saxon invasions, leading to the establishment of new kingdoms and the assimilation of Germanic culture. Understanding this dynamic journey through time is crucial to comprehending the origins and evolution of the British Isles into the diverse and vibrant nation it is today.